Hey guys, Efra here with NxtMove Inspections, and welcome to another edition of NxtMove Community Spotlight. Today we're going to head out and meet the crew of Josephairconditioning, a veteran HVAC company, and learn a little bit more about what it takes to install a unit on the roof of a condominium. Let's check out this local small business. Hey man, how's it going?
Good.
Good to see you.
Good.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
My name is Roll Joseph. Been with Josephairconditioning for a few years now. It's been a family-run company by my father since 2003. I've been in the AC business about my whole entire life, so I've kind of been around it and seen what we do and what my dad does on a daily basis. That's basically about me.
Yeah, awesome. What kind of certifications do you guys have?
One of the biggest certifications that every technician is required to have is what's called an EPA certification. That's what allows you to work with the different freons and gases in the unit.
Awesome. So when it comes to scheduling your day, do you do it? Do you have a set schedule for the week, or do you do it every day is a different day for you?
Our scheduling really goes day by day, hour by hour. You could be in Fort Lauderdale 1 hour, and then the next hour you're all the way in West Palm Beach, because something just came in out of nowhere. So it's really just kind of fly by to see what's going on, and we kind of adjust accordingly.
Right, like it's not an office job. This is a very fly by your pants type of business.
Exactly. So it's day by day, hour by hour. We're constantly changing and moving things around, schedules moving, guys starting on one side of town, ending up on the other side of town.
As we finished our conversation, the crane arrived. We loaded the old unit and lifted it safely to the ground. Then we proceeded to bring all the tools onto the roof. All right, so we got all the tools out of the truck and onto the roof. So let's go ahead and get on the roof and check out what it's like to install a unit.
Let's do it.
All right, Roll, show me some of the tools you use here for getting the job done.
Alrighty, well, to start off, one of the biggest tools that we use is our welding tools. We have both of our acetylene and our oxygen tanks. And then we also have our soldering sticks, 5% soldering sticks. Once we go ahead and put the unit to sit down, then we go ahead and strap down the unit with the hurricane straps. We braze the copper to the units, and we go ahead and do the electrical, both the low voltage and the high voltage. Over here, we just have our tool bag. Most of the stuff in our tool bag is going to be a lot of sockets, a lot of bits. We have our small 5/16s and our small 1/4 inch. A lot of times we use these to get in between units when the units are a little bit too close and we need to be able to open the access panels. This is what we call the Allen key. The Allen key is what opens and shuts the valves for the refrigerant to pass through the unit, which we've already completed. And after we complete what's called the vacuum, that'll allow, what the vacuum is, it'll allow us to basically go ahead and clean out the copper lines of any remnants of freon, the grease, and any dirt or grime that might have gotten into it, and the effect of us cutting the copper. What we're doing right now is just strapping the unit down to the stand with the hurricane rated straps. The size of the straps and the amount of screws that are put on the unit is based off of the tonnage of the unit and what type. And if it's a ground unit, then it's going to be based off of what kind of slab that's being used on the ground. If the concrete slab is already instilled in the ground, in the foundation of the home, then you can get by with using about 8 to 10 screws. If it's a portable slab that you're attaching to if you're putting on top of a concrete slab, then you have to have about 12 to 14 screws on the unit. Make sure there's no pin in this. All right, number one, you always take the pin out of that, because you have no idea how many times when people panic, they forget that there's a pin in there and they're sitting there trying to squeeze it, saying that the fire extinguisher is not working. Get rid of exposed wires. All right, so we use a wet rag or something to take away the heat from the pistons inside the valves, and also to keep heat away from the unit.
As owner and technician for Joseph Air Conditioning, Roll needs to be in multiple places at once, supervising his crew to ensure quality control. As he gets a call for help from one of his team members downstairs, another member of his crew will take over on the roof. This level of teamwork is what you can expect from Joseph Air Conditioning. Let's join Roll downstairs to learn more about the indoor unit.
Alright, here we have what's called the 2-ton First Company air handler. This is half of the air handler. The second half is over here. This is the blower wheel. Right here we have, first we have the drain pan. That's where once the coil gets very cold, it causes condensation. That water falls right into the drain pan. This right here is called cork tape. It's an insulation. It's a insulation putty tape that wraps around what's called a TXV, which the Freon passes through the line to go into the unit.
After final inspection by Roll himself, he puts his stamp of approval that the job was performed to the highest standards. All right, Roll, so clients ask me these questions all the time, so I was wondering if I could ask you those questions and then we can give those answers to anybody watching at home.
Sure.
So one of the questions I get asked all the time is, what size unit would fit my house? Is there a rule of thumb that you guys go by when you're picking AC units for houses?
There's a few different things that factor into the size of the house. It's based off the square footage, and also what's done is a heat load calculation to factor in how much heat the house is taking in, to see how much AC and how much air it takes to cool the home.
Awesome. So when it comes to when a client hires you, can you provide proof that you're bonded and insured?
Yep, we have what's called a certificate of insurance we can provide to any client, which gives them a certificate that shows our start and expiration date, along with our limits for our general liability and our workers' comp.
Awesome. So when it comes to brands, do you prefer any particular brands over others, and why?
When it comes to brands, one of our biggest things is we always like to educate the client on the different brands, the reliability, the dependability of the brand, and then we let the client ultimately make the decision. One of my favorite brands to use is Rheem. The biggest reason is the volume and the amount of distribution centers around South Florida that gives us volatility to be able to get parts if someone was to have an issue, compared to having to wait 2 to 3 weeks for a part.
Yeah, that makes sense. And when it comes to permits, do you guys pull your own permits? Do you handle all of the permitting process yourself?
From the moment the client signs that contract, we handle everything from start to finish, from installing the units, removing all the trash, to making sure that the permit's ready. We pick up the permit, we drop off the permit, and about 90% of the time we're at the inspections.
So what kind of guarantee does your company offer to its clients?
Our company offers a 1 or 2 year labor warranty, along with the manufacturer's warranty.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.